Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Monday Matt Channel. And last year, OLYMPIA, Washington, more importantly, Evergreen College in OLYMPIA, Washington, which is actually not too far away from where I live, was riddled by scandal when a student group turned on a professor because he had the audacity. He had the moral audacity to sit there and say, hey, maybe it's not a good idea to kick people off a campus based upon the color of their skin. And that was enough to cause them to go after him, to take over the campus, to bring national embarrassment upon the college, and ultimately leave it with a very smeared and stained reputation. And as a result of this, as the fallout from this a year later, Evergreen State College is hit with a catastrophic enrollment crisis. People aren't going. They've lost so much damn money that they're just kind of screwed at the moment. And that, again, I don't really feel bad as a result of that. Now, it says here, if you hope the legislators in OLYMPIA would stop funding Evergreen State College, just be patient. If things continue to deteriorate, the college will implode on its own. Several months ago, it was reported that Evergreen was witnessing dramatic decreases in student enrollment and subsequently cash flow. Indeed, the school was forced to dip into their emergency funds. Now we know just how bad it is. It says here from Professor Mike Paros says, it's a catastrophic drop. I'm hoping we'll recover. Now, honestly, the best way to recover in all of this is to get rid of the president, George Bridges. Is that his name? Yeah, that's the president name. Get rid of him, and sit there and lock down this shit. What they did on Evergreen is an embarrassment to colleges everywhere. What they did on Evergreen is an embarrassment to liberals everywhere. It's a liberal arts college. This is a very liberal town. And trust me, as a person who lives here, who lived here during this, people are freaking embarrassed. I've talked to the townsfolk, not like we gathered around a campfire, like, oh, do you want to talk about Evergreen State College? But it was really more like, you just kind of ask the questions and people are like, because they don't like it. They don't like it at all. Now, the incoming freshman class at Evergreen is expected to be 350 students with a total of 3,000 to 3,100 total enrollment, according to an estimate originally published by Professor Paros. Now, that's a small incoming number, right? That's a small incoming number. You usually get more than that. I mean, there's two colleges in the area in West Olympia. You got Evergreen State College and you've got South Puget Community College. So I really wonder what the enrollment rates are for South Puget, because I have a feeling it's going to be a lot higher than 350 students. Now, things have been going downhill since a group of unhinged, progressive students held then Professor Brett Weinstein hostage because he didn't think it was right to move a right move to ban white people from campus. The school's cowardly president, George Bridges, repeatedly kowtowed to the abusive students who wouldn't even let him use a restroom without an escort during a meeting to address their gripes. He even had to seek counseling after putting up with the abuse. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a complete advocate for mental health. I'm a complete advocate for everyone. This should be something that is almost mandatory to an extent to deal with that kind of crap in life. But yeah, George Bridges, I watched the videos. He would move his hands in a specific way and they would chastise him for moving his hands because that was considered oppressive. He wanted to use the restroom and they told him no, even though he could get up and leave anytime he wanted and they couldn't legally, physically stop him. They were not without an escort. They wanted to make sure they could watch him at all times. The progressive activists on campus got him to denounce the chief of police, to denounce the college, the campus police, and to basically rule them impotent, to make them not do their job. While people on college campuses, students were roaming around with baseball bats, patrolling it themselves. It became a mess, an absolute mess. And the progressive liberals in the area were just like, well, maybe they'll just tire out eventually. Maybe they'll just go to sleep eventually. And that's not what happened at all. Now, it says here in March, the author of this article obtained a PowerPoint presentation from school administrators that started to sound the alarms. This new enrollment number is even lower than the 3,600 they originally estimated. To put this in context, enrollment had been on the decline since 2009, 2010, when it peaked at 4,596. So it's down about 1,500 students in over the course of 8 years, which is not good. It's not. And here's the thing. It's not that people aren't moving to the area. It's true. Property values are going up in Olympia. It's people are coming in from out of state. And where Evergreen State College is located is literally down the road. I'm not even kidding you. Like literally down the road from multi-million-dollar mansions that overlook the South Puget Sound, that are like at the end of a very long road, and it's all gated and you can't get in. There's money in the area. There's people here who want to go to college at Evergreen. Their actions, and I believe the idea and the mentality of the school, and hell, the ideology of the school has pushed it to this particular state. Now, Evergreen brought this on themselves. Rather than push back an out-of-control mob of student lunatics, they leaned in and embraced the chaos. Fueled by their commitment to social justice and all things progressive, they managed to stray so far to the left, fewer students want anything to do with them, which is very true. And if you look at it, some of the other arguments that have come out, some of the other statements that have come out from professors and other students, you've learned that it's entirely possible. And this is what I've read secondhand, so I can't speak to this being 100% truth. But one of the things I heard was that you had students, like it was this one group of like Black trans students that were the ones that were causing most of the problems, and that this particular assault on Brett Weinstein was actually a deflection against them being called out for previous acts. As far as going, I mean, one incident had them literally wrestle the microphone out of the hand of an administrator. They protested the welcoming of the new chief of police, a woman who had graduated from Evergreen State College and came home to her alma mater to become the chief of police. Like, that is how bad it got, right? That is how bad it got. Now, it goes on to say here that before the Weinstein drama, or beyond the Weinstein drama, the school has generally permissive of bad behavior. This author reported last year artwork depicting President Donald Trump was vandalized. Ironically, the artwork was never meant to be critical of Trump, but his mere image, it was meant to be critical of Trump, but the mere image triggered the vandal. Yep. That's just like, oh, it's critical of him, not critical enough. Amir Hassan, an academic specialist, complained over email that in spite of the fact that it's meant to be critical, it was a poor decision to provide space for the images of his likeness. I have no doubt that they've been triggering for many students. He then encouraged the staffer responsible for the art display to more fully check their own privilege. When it was reported, the staff was warned to watch what they say in emails because this particular journalist is going to write about it. Yeah, especially if you tell someone to check their privilege before posting an image critical of Donald Trump, that's just babying beyond belief. That is such a safe space thing right there. And he finishes up here by saying, I hate to see people out of work. There are many fine people at Evergreen, especially the staffers, who, while too scared to admit they hate what's going on, are quick to forward me tips so I can report them without fear of the campus progressives. But many of these professors and staffers have no business holding any positions of influence over already out of control children. They're not serving these students who will go into the real world unable to cope with some simple facts like not everyone will think like them. The school is better off shuttered, and it won't be their critics responsible. It will be their own irresponsible, irrational actions. And this is coming from Jason Rantz, who is a broadcaster in the area. And you know what? Jason's got a point, man. Jason's got a point. There's definitely problems with Evergreen. People who live here understand it. People who live here see it, and people who have just been following this debacle online over the course of the past year and almost year and a half now, understand it too. And that is just because when it comes to the ultra progressive mindset, anything to the right of them, even if it's a smidge, if it's a centimeter, a millimeter to the right, is considered the enemy. And no amount of discussion or discourse is going to change that. These people legitimately have just a lot of problems. And unfortunately, this is what happens in that regard. When you create that kind of public mess and then you keep doubling down on it, it ends up biting you square in the ass. Now, if they, working from behind the scenes to try to fix things, is clearly not having the desired impact. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with Evergreen, but I don't think it's going to last. It's going to be fine for a while. But there is going to be the board of trustees or whoever the board of governors, I don't know, whoever runs it, the people above George Bridges, they're going to get rid of his ass. and they're going to bring in a whole new faculty. And it's entirely possible that the idea of Evergreen being a liberal arts college may not last much longer because it can't survive the liberal part of it. And that's just, I think, going to be a big warning sign to any other liberal arts college out there for how not to do things. Anyway, what do you guys think about this? Let me know down in the comments below. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt Show. If you guys made it this far, type Evergreen in the chat so I know you made it. Be sure to thumbs up the video while you're at it at the same time. Share it around if you want. And if you want to support the channel, and I hope you do, patreon.com/Mundane Matt's a great way. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day, and peace out.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider becoming a patron today for just $1 per month over at patreon.com/Mundane Matt.